I love Invincible. Season 2 was phenomenal, you all. I had a blast with it. So let's get started. We're not gonna wait too much or linger too much, y'all. We're gonna jump right into the video, guys, starting off with the characters and perspectives that we get. I want to start off by saying Invincible really irons out its characters and gives us perspective into each of them. The Adam Eve special has been out for a little while now, and I love getting the origin story of that character. I love learning more about her backstory and about how she was raised and fleshing out this character and giving us a nice taste and tease before season 2. But not only that, in season 2 we get to see so many different perspectives, just like we did in season 1. Now, I can't spoil too much because I was sent the episodes early, so I can't dive too deep, but I will say the Guardians of the Globe this season, we get back with them, and I love exploring that team. I love that you do get a little bit more about Robot and learn more about how he's learning about humanity and things of that nature. Of course, we get Mark and Debbie, who do an excellent job this season. We get so many different perspectives, and we even get some episodes where for some parts of the episode we leave Mark behind and really focus on another character. So that is one thing that Invincible does better than most other TV shows out right now in terms of the comic book genre, especially ones that were produced by Marvel or DC. No offense, but we tend to focus on the main character. You know, WandaVision really deeply focuses on Wanda's story. We don't get a Vision backstory for an entire episode. But here in Invincible, we get entire episodes without Mark, where we get to explore other characters, and it does make you miss Mark, but we'll talk about Mark a little bit later because I'm loving his character development in this season. Another thing Invincible does well that carries over into season 2 is it fills up that story and the pacing with nothing to leave behind, guys. We are just filled with content and filled with content that pushes the story forward. And I love how deep we go into different character perspectives and the different world building, so much so that it doesn't feel like a crumb of this is filler. This all feels so important to the story, and it's all so integral to pushing things and characters forward. I love the way that they pace this show out. We have quick moments, we have slow moments, but all of it really builds the characters, the world, and the tension so much more. Speaking of tension, guys, another wonderful thing that Invincible does is the reveals and over-the-top moments always go well with the story. There aren't these moments that are huge and over-the-top and twists that are only for shock value. Whereas in The Boys, of course, that is the style of The Boys, but here we get it because it fits into the story. Omni-Man's betrayal, or the reveal of the betrayal at the end of season 1, and we get to see these traumatic experiences with Debbie and Mark after the loss. We get to see that a lot this season, and I love what they're doing with Mark and Debbie's trauma. That's another big point I want to touch on, guys. Mark and Debbie are killing it this season, y'all. Steven Yeun and Sandra Oh are absolutely killing it this season. I love the relationship between Mark and Debbie and how we get to see them together, and we also get to see them apart. We get to see the perspective of Mark, somebody who has superpowers and who's related to Omni-Man, who's half Viltrumite, somebody who can fly away when the problems get tough. But what about Debbie, the wife? The woman who stood by Nolan for so long. We get to see how this has affected her, and oh my gosh, there are scenes where I'm crying along with Debbie because it is so touching and emotional and gets so deep into that character and into that relationship that she has with Mark and with Nolan. And what I love about Invincible as a whole is how much Invincible focuses on all three of these characters in the first season, and then we lose one and we see the effects of how that loss is on the family. I love it. The voice acting is absolutely incredible this season. We've got some new players, including Sterling K. Brown and Ben Schwartz, guys, and they do a fantastic job. Sterling K. Brown's character is a character from the comics, so be on the lookout for that, my comic book readers. Angstrom is in this season, guys, and I cannot wait to see what they do with that character. And y'all, they drop us right in the first episode with something big, so be sure to pay attention. But man, there are so many good things about this season, and I just want to speak briefly about how they're adapting it from the comics. The pacing is definitely different. There are some things happening quicker in this season and in the show as a whole that didn't happen as quick in the comics, but I love what they're doing with it, guys. Invincible does a wonderful job of building up these big arcs and giving us these character arcs, not only for Mark, Adam Eve, for the Guardians of the Globe, and we see that here in this season. We get to see so many characters grow and build. And also, the animation is very stepped up. I mean, the animation style is crisp, it's clean. You can tell that budget has been raised on this one, guys, and I wish I could give you a little bit more, but I had to give you a little bit of a broad strokes review just because I'm not allowed to spoil too much. But Invincible Season 2 is seriously some of the best superhero TV out right now. And I love Gen V, I love The Boys, I love WandaVision, but I honestly love Invincible so much, I'm willing to call it better than those shows. Like I said earlier in the review, it fills up its story and doesn't leave us with many crumbs. It doesn't leave us with much filler. It explores characters in a deeper way, and it makes us care about these characters, about the world. It does a very good job with Mark and Debbie's trauma. After the events of the first season, we are dropped right in, and these emotional moments really make us care about characters who aren't even superpowered. We start caring so much and get so attached to Debbie. This is such a phenomenal show. There's not a lot that doesn't work this season. I will say the pacing can be so quick sometimes. There can be a couple blink and you miss it moments. So definitely be sure to tune in, fully zoned in, because there are some moments that can really get past you. And I want to talk about some of the villain arcs in this season. I think there's a lot of villains and a lot of arcs being built up here. And I saw part 1 and I'm curious to see exactly where part 2 is going to have the main focus, because we're kind of all over the place a little bit right now, but I love it. I love getting to explore these new characters, learn these new characters, and really dive deeper into their backstories, guys. We get a lot of that in this new season. Mark's suit looks awesome. We see Mark win a couple of battles. You know, he gets a couple wins in there a little bit. You're gonna see some more losses, but again, these things that happen are so integral to the story, and Mark learns these lessons, and we see Mark's story arc continue to grow. And I love what they're doing with the character of Mark Grayson. I love that we can explore these other characters, but at the heart of this show, this is Invincible's show, and Steven Yeun, round of applause for that man. He is killing it in this role, and I am loving what they're doing with the Invincible character, slowly having him grow over the show's timeline. We don't get dropped in to a character who is Superman already, who does know how to defend the city by himself already. We get to see Mark learn and grow and mess up and make mistakes just like a human being. And while Invincible is about a superpowered boy, we also get the human half of him too. We see Mark's new experience with college and growing older and graduation, and it just brings such a relatable element to this character. I love how relatable Invincible is. I love how human it is. I love this show, you guys. You gotta let me know down in the comments, how excited are you for season 2, guys? Because so far I have been loving it. The writing, the character exploration, the world building, the voice acting is incredible. The sound is incredible. The action is incredible. I mean, the action scenes are awesome, guys. Just as bloody as the first season, maybe even bloodier in some cases. And I love seeing Mark kick some ass, guys. It is wonderfully animated. I really like any more character perspectives, and I cannot wait to see more. I actually love the first part so much, I'm upset that I can't see the second part already. I want to see the second part right now, but guys, come on back. We're gonna have some more coverage on Invincible, so be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and y'all, we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.